all you cordial drywallers out there in drywall land, and welcome to a kind episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, once again, Nick Harmon. Today's special because I got to sit down with DeAnne Shallcross, Vice President of Advanced Tools out of Chicago, Illinois. Her family has been running this company since 1922. You heard me correct. That's right. 104 years of legacy spanning 4 generations and 1 century. We waste no time diving headfirst into the history of the company that was started by her great-grandfather, Auguste, who actually started Advanced due to a need for wall covering tools back in the day. We get into the nuts and bolts, quite literally, of manufacturing drywall tools, but it wasn't until the early 90s when they doubled down on drywall tools specifically, you know.
I just think it happened naturally, if that makes any sense. We just started adding more tools to our already existing line of drywall
let's
tools.
face it, drywall is cooler than wall.
Yes, and that category really took a bad hit in the 80s when, and I don't want to point fingers, but there was a lot of complaints with wall covering where a lot of residential people, DIYers did their own wall covering, and it was they didn't prep the walls and didn't know about prepping the walls. And when it came time to change the wall covering and they couldn't get the wall covering off, it really tainted that industry.
It was an absolute pleasure for me to get to speak with DeAnne the way we did. We get to see into the world of Advance and how this 4th generation wife, mother, and business leader tackles the drywall industry. Oh, and as an added bonus, today's episode and all of the episodes in the month of January are sponsored by, you guessed it, Advance Equipment. This is their first time sponsoring the Drywall Podcast as well, so that makes them doubly badass. Advance Equipment, a company that's been engineering and manufacturing drywall tools for over 104 years. In the windy city of Chicago, Advance isn't about chasing trends or copying what everyone else is doing. They're a family-owned company that's been designing tools since 1922. One of their standout tools right now is the radius skimming blade. The offset handle keeps your knuckles off the wall and puts the blade where you want it. The radius edges ride smooth without leaving lines. The Cool Grip 2 handle stays comfortable during long days on the job, and the design lets you load the wall in one pass. Like everything Advanced builds, this tool is engineered, tested, and dialed by drywallers for drywallers. I'd also like to add that I am a personal fan of this offset blade, and if you are a panda knife person doing fresco harmony, the radius skimming blade is the knife I'd recommend. Also, to celebrate this partnership with the Drywall Podcast, Advance is sponsoring a sweet ice bath giveaway at the end of the month. First place wins a 12-inch Advanced radius skimming blade, a 12-inch stainless steel mud pan with grip, a 16-inch radius box trail knife, and the Eagle Wing Corner Trowel. Second place gets to choose 2 tools from that same lineup, and third will receive 1 tool. All you have to do is email me at info@frescoharmony.com, your full name, phone number, and physical address where you'd like these tools shipped, and you're in. We'll be posting details on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages, so look for more information there. But for now, DeAnne Shallcross of Advanced Tools on the 159th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it.
Happy New Year.
Look at you. Beautiful.
What? Well, thank you.
DeAnne, stop me if I say this wrong. DeAnne Shallcross.
Shallcross.
Shallcross. Okay.
As I shall cross the road.
we shall cross over the chasm of pre uh, interview and post interview.
Perfect.
We shall cross that.
Yes.
I was just thinking before we got started, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of interesting to take all these notes that I have from various guests and
Okay.
scripts and things and put them into some type of document.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2026. It's just even hard to believe.
Yeah. How's your New Year going?
It's so far so good. I mean, it's early on, but every day is a good day.
Yeah, you've got a really good demeanor about you.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is going to be a great podcast. And you own Advanced Tools.
So I'm one of the owners.
Okay.
Just to give you some history,
Yeah.
this 2026 marks 104 years for Advanced Equipment Manufacturing Company, which is a huge milestone.
I was saying I was telling somebody like, oh, I think it's 100 years, but then I was like, oh, it can't be that long.
Yes, 1922.
What the heck? They weren't
Yes.
even doing drywall in 1922.
They were, but
They were.
So it all started. My great grandfather. This is on my father's side. My great grandfather, August Wedekind, came from Germany, and in the early 1920s, actually 1922, he was a carpenter. And friends of his on the west side of Chicago said, August, you should make wall covering tools, because believe it or not, at that time, wall covering tools were really hot. There was a lot of wall covering going on at that time. So he did. He did that, started in his garage on Walton Street, which is literally maybe a mile and a half from our original factory, which is where we are today on the west side of Chicago, on Chicago Avenue in Chicago. USA made.
Beautiful. I've been to Chicago a couple of times. I've had the privilege of seeing the Trimtex facility. Great city. I also went to the World Cup in
Nice.
1994 when the World Cup was in Chicago. Got to see a few games at Soldier Field.
Which neither one of them are far, Trimtex or Soldiers Field.
We just my kid was playing in a state soccer, so he made the state team in New Mexico. He was playing in Phoenix, and we played Illinois. And those dudes were good.
Really?
Yeah, they crushed us. Yeah.
How old is your son?
He's 10.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long has he been playing?
He has been playing since. I have a picture of him where he had this shirt that looks like a dress, and there's a program called Little Kickers that they have here for indoor, where you just boot these balls around and have fun. So he's been playing since he was probably 14 months.
Oh my gosh.
And he is just
young, yes.
He's a dynamo. It's in his blood. But he made the 2014 so they go by the year they were born. He's a 2015, but he made the 14 New Mexico state team.
That's incredible.
So they do that at that age. It's so competitive and weird, but
yeah, that's really becoming very popular in the States, where that just was a sport that was not.
Right. Yeah, it's huge. It's it's been the leading youth sport for a while. You came on my radar at the most recent AWCI in Charlotte.
Okay.
Well, I first saw you at that restaurant. I think you were sitting with Oriana. I had never talked to her. But Chad knew you guys.
Yes, and we went back actually to your Airbnb.
Yeah, and we hung out that night.
And you spoke with Oriana at length that evening.
Yep. I didn't get a chance to get over and chat with you, but Oriana and I were sort of connecting, and so little time. But it's kind of a small industry when you break it all down. And for whatever reason, Advance has not come into my sphere for the podcast yet. Until now.
Well, it's a great way to start. It's a great way to start 2026.
Yeah, and kicker, Advance is sponsoring the Drywall Podcast in the month of January. So
Yes,
that thank you for that. We
you're very welcome.
This all happens because of sponsorship. So I get to bring cool interviews with all the cool people in the industry and beyond: England, New Zealand, Australia, Scotland. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful though? It's crazy.
Newfoundland, the Newfie taper. But he's up in none of it. So I got to learn all about like those territories up there.
Okay,
Extraordinary. Meeting DeAnne. Sorry, I'm getting my brain's coming.
that's good.
Got the kiddo off to school. Let's talk about your. So this was your grandfather, this
Great
German
grandfather.
great
Yes,
grandfather, and tell me his name again.
August Wedekind. So my maiden name is Wedekind, Wedekind, which is a German name.
Cool.
Yes.
Um, and another fun fact, I read a book about stucco from a guy who was on the podcast a long time ago. His name's escaping me right now. That's okay, but it was all about eaves, and
Okay.
there was heavy German influence bringing stucco over to the United States back in the day. So it's interesting the German connection with not only stucco but also drywall in this industry, and
Right.
you have influential companies over there as well. But what really interests me is in the 1920s, there's this August was like
Yeah.
was like I want to make drywall tools, but at the time he's calling them like wall covering. But
So it
wasn't it all
really was.
plaster? It was
No,
plaster
it was
though.
actually wall covering tools. So Advanced not only manufactures drywall and some painting, but we're also very strong in wall covering tools, which is for hanging vinyl wall covering, for example, in hospitals, corporate headquarters,
Oh,
hotels. So those are actually wall covering.
okay.
And we make all the tools for that category, which is very unique. So we have pasting machines, straight
Oh,
edges for trimming, paste boards and paste tables made out of basswood, which is really
okay.
unique to the industry. So when somebody is, for example, if you have a roll of wall covering and you want to hand paste it, you would use a paste board or paste table. You paste on it, you trim on it, and then you hang it on the wall. So for the bigger, larger, like corporate buildings, hospitality,
Yeah.
things of that nature, larger volume. A lot of hotels where use wall covering because it's actually better wear and tear on their
Yeah.
walls and longevity. So they'll hang
Yep.
vinyl. We manufacture paste machines that you put the bolt of wallpaper on the machine, you run it through, and it actually applies the adhesive on consistently and evenly and very efficiently for larger crews. So we have all those types of tools, which is separate from the
Yeah.
drywall tools.
But it's interesting though, because I'm always looking at those surfaces in hospitality settings because I do fresco harmony, and I'm like, oh, what are they using here? And
Sure.
it's always fascinating seeing those. And then like wallpaper is kind of like my nemesis, and of course there's probably a myriad of different types of wallpaper, vinyls, things like that.
Oh, yes.
But I'll say this, like it kind of fascinates me. Like I think it would be fun to install, but I've never crossed that bridge. Did it occur to your predecessors early on to manufacture like wall coverings or vinyl type things? Do you do that?
We don't do that. We just make the tools for the application.
Right.
So there are actual wall covering manufacturers that make all the
Yeah.
different types of wall covering.
Why didn't
And
you why didn't you want to like get into that game?
well, that's really our unique and strengths are the tools itself for the applications, for everything. So that's a whole different world. They have huge equipment and machinery and artists. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
So our strength has been in manufacturing tools
Yeah.
for all these applications.
Yeah, cool.
But it was, my grandfather was the strength and the vision for the wall covering tools. It was my grandfather, his son, that invented the first drywall taping knife, which I thought I would share with you.
Beauty.
That is the very first drywall taping knife, and it was a wooden handle that was painted. So this is the very first one. And here is one of the first mud pans.
And is that metal?
Yes, this is galvanized. But this is, see, they're spot welded, which, we still spot weld, but the majority now are heliarc welds.
And they knew they wanted to keep that smooth on the inside because they knew, and they were wielding mud. Yeah. Was it mud or was it plaster?
No, this mud. This was for mud.
All right.
But this is, you can still see the name.
I love it. I'm going to post this on Instagram. And if you're listening out there, this is what style of knife would you say
so
that is?
This was the original. So the original taping knives that were manufactured all had wood handles. We have our own woodworking department here too. So we make our wood handles in-house as well. What I feel separates Advance with all of our competition is we do everything in-house. So we do metal stamping, injection molding, woodworking, all of that we do all under one roof in the USA.
I want to come see it.
You can. I'd love to have you.
I'd love to. Okay. And that's like an 8-inch blade.
This is a 6-inch stainless steel.
That's 6 stainless. Okay.
Yes.
It's a beauty. And you've kept it all these years.
Yes. They've altered over the years in terms of styles. So the original one started out with wood, and that was in the industry for years.
Yeah.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the first change went to the plastic handle, and I think it was Gene from Harrington Tools out of California that started injection molding the handles, because they manufactured as well, Harrington, and they made, I believe, the first plastic.
Never even heard of Harrington.
Yes.
To show my ignorance, but we're all learning here. I had no idea that Advanced did wall covering tools.
Yes.
That's a fun fact. Did they do different sizes when they started out? Was it just the 6, or was it 6, 8, 10?
It was a variety. 6, 8, 10, and 12.
They knew that.
Stainless steel. Yeah. In the beginning, it was stainless steel. This was stainless steel.
Looks pretty rigid. Is it rigid?
I mean, this is very old. So I'm going to say this is somewhere in the late 30s is this, because we didn't start with drywall. We started with wall covering. But I mean, it's riveted. The handle is riveted on to we call this the mount.
Okay. And do you know who Derek Trout is with East Coast Drywall Tools?
That name sounds familiar.
Okay. He's been on the show. They've sponsored the show as well, but he has a lot of vintage tools. Like he's into that. So I was like, oh, I wonder what he would think of that, because he has a lot of he's got like old banjos and stuff.
It's great to hang on to it, because you never know, in years to come, what you could talk about and say, hey, we really were one of the originals. This was proof.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Like, how do you know there wasn't anything on the market? Because, I mean, that style and design makes me think of Marshalltown. What was Marshalltown wasn't even in the picture then? Or maybe
Marshalltown's been in business longer than Advanced Equipment. And I believe they started out with cement tools, but don't quote me on that.
Sure.
But another company that was in business for a long time was Goldblatt Tools, the original Goldblatt Tools out of Kansas City. We made all their taping knives, mud pans, and mixers. We private labeled for them.
Okay. All right. Because you guys were already doing it.
We did it. And again, this was the style, the wooden handle, but it wasn't painted. It was clear and lacquer dipped the way it was.
Okay.
You know, in the early like 70s in that area. They weren't painted.
Did somebody use that knife, or has it always just been like for posterity?
I can't tell you. I've just had this in the archives. We have files on like a lot of our old catalogs and brochures, and this was saved along with some other tools. So this is what I always show everybody to say this was the original.
Very cool. Let's get back to the family timeline, because we've got to go from Grandpa Auguste all the way to DeAnne.
Okay. So that's then again, it was, yes. Well, we have a nice trail though. So the taping knife obviously was my grandfather, which was my dad's father. And that was my grandfather, which I remember like it was yesterday.
What's
and his
name
was Wilfred.
Love it. My grandfather was Claude and Stella. I got a Claude and Stella.
I love those names.
Yeah. But I have German too, German and Irish. My
mother was all Irish.
My mom's maiden name was Hamburg.
And Mildred was his wife.
Beautiful.
So my grandmother they belonged to the same church, a Lutheran church. Okay. And she saw posted, my great grandfather posted, he was looking for a bookkeeper. And my grandmother applied for the job. And 3 years later, married the boss's son, my grandfather.
Beautiful.
And that is how it all evolved.
Mildred.
Mildred, yes.
No fool. No fool. She knew a good thing when she saw it.
Yes.
And Wilfred is granddad, and he had the company, and that would have probably been when.
So Wilfred was the original inventor of the drywall taping knife in the mud pan. So I don't have exactly what year, but he was definitely doing that in the 50s and the 60s.
August was more the wall covering.
Well, he was still actively involved in the company.
He was still
my grandfather, what he brought to the company, his son, Wilfred, which is my grandfather, he started bringing in drywall tools and making drywall tools. And he was also, they were very, their minds were more engineer type.
Yep.
And just started, designing different tools. Yeah. And my grandmother and grandfather had 5 children. My father is John, the oldest. And then he had 3 brothers and a sister. And
they used to get started younger. Like Mildred, my grandma was like 13.
Yeah, I think everybody worked young too.
Yeah, they had to go to the army, the service, so they went into the service. But my grandpa was young, and then they would start their little families in their 20s, or earlier, and have
life
more
was
kids.
So different there. When you look at life, when I look at it. I remember my grandparents very vividly. I remember coming down here on Sunday and putting coal in so it would be warm, come Monday morning to get it going. Yeah.
And you really got coal in your stocking if you weren't good.
Cold. Yes, I was always good. I never got cold. At least my parents never did, yes.
I remember my cousin one time, I just saw her in Scottsdale. She lives in Scottsdale now. She's an attorney and worked for the FBI, oddly enough, in Berkeley, California for a short period of time. But one time, she got coal in her stock.
Oh, jeez. Were they just trying to prove
give
something?
You a porthole. Give you a porthole into my family's world. Like what they think is funny.
Yes.
So she cried her eyes out. But wow, coal.
Yeah.
Interesting. And
So I've seen a lot of changes just because of being here
yeah,
as a young girl. My brother and I would come down here and play. And when my father had to work, and my dad also put us to work at a very young age, he'd bring home projects for us, stuff in catalogs and
yeah,
putting kits together. We made wall covering tool kits, smoothing brushes, paste brushes, seam rollers, and we'd put them in a bag, put a header on them, and staple them. So we've
yeah,
were, you know,
yeah.
we
He
were
was
brought
getting
in
it.
early. He
He
groomed
was
us
getting.
early.
Yeah, yeah. I have
Yeah.
Sean. I'll take Sean to the office and we'll make bottles and do the stickers. Yeah,
Yeah. You have to. I mean, it teaches you
yeah.
great work ethic too.
He has no clue like
Yes.
what I'm up to.
Right.
He's still
Yes.
not old
Yes.
enough. He's kind of like he knows I
Right.
have my own business, but
Yes.
beyond that, he does. I don't think he understands like the podcast. It's still
Sure. No, he's still young, but this
yeah,
is great. You're not telling him he has to work. You're just bringing him to work, and he's assisting, so he doesn't even realize he's already forming this work ethic and to be a
yeah.
part of what you're creating, which is really awesome.
How many kids did John have? How many siblings?
So, John is my father. It's just me and my brother, and we're 16
Oh,
months apart. He's older, and my brother was
bro.
recruited like probably seventh or eighth grade. He had to work every summer at the company.
What's his name?
John, he's John
John
also. John
John
Jr.
Jr.
Yes,
We're painting a
yes,
picture. Cool. So John's part of the company, yeah?
yes,
Or
yes, he is
still?
very, yeah. Oh, yes. My father and my brother. Yes, very
And
much.
he's 16 months older. How
Yes.
come he's not running the company?
He
You're
is. He's all in production. He's on the back end. I'm on the front end.
okay. Well, we got to get John on too because he's part of the
Yes.
deal. But
Yes.
we can talk dirt about John, and then John can talk dirt about you.
Yeah. Well,
We can.
that's one thing that we honestly probably won't happen.
Okay. All right.
I've been so blessed to work with family and everybody gets along. I think we all have the same dream and passion and we all have our own jobs. I don't want his job. He doesn't want my job. And
Okay.
we all have the best interest for our company and for our employees.
I
We're
love it.
proud USA made family owned company and our
Yeah.
employees are our family. They're an extension of us. And it's just, we celebrate birthdays every month here at Advance. And it's just a
Good.
great working family environment.
Like I get to interview and I meet a lot of people, I talk to people. Yeah, it comes through. Like your vibe
Oh,
is
well, thank you. It's
is like
genuine.
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
it's
we
genuine.
do is genuine. We want to create and evolve and manufacture innovative tools that will make people's contractors, professionals, DIYers jobs easier. And
Yeah.
sometimes we make a product and we change it later on, and it's just another improvement that is a game changer. And we're
Yeah.
always looking at what we can do that separates us and makes us unique, and how do we bring innovation, continuously bring innovation to the market.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do like I remember, gosh, a long time ago, maybe 10, 11 years ago, there was a show in Vegas. And I'm was just new, maybe 12 years ago now. But I'd just come out with my product. Like, like you're talking 1920. We're talking 2013. Fresco
Yeah,
Harmony
but that's
enters the.
everyone has to start. I mean, whoever
Boy,
thought
I'm
about,
telling.
yes, it's incredible though.
Well, I remember seeing Richard was at your booth, I think, and he was running it through. He was running the metal through the hopper that sits on the
Oh,
bucket,
yes, yes,
and I was
yes,
like, oh. That's a good idea. Like, I wish I had
yes.
one of those when I was putting up metal because I like tape on corner bead. I'm a tape on corner bead kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then also to that tool, and then also your round edge offset knives.
Yes. So these are items that Rick did bring to the market with us. So we make all of our plastic mud pans in-house too.
Okay.
And that's how that kind of all that concept, like he was tinkering, and he likes to tinker a lot and
Yeah.
create new ideas and items. And it works beautifully. You saw that run for yourself. I mean, the beat on that is just like the bigger hoppers, it's just a minute cost. And it does the same exact same corner bead that
Yeah.
these expensive hoppers do.
Was that sort of the OG tool in this space? Because I don't
Oh, there's
remember.
a lot. I think
There's a
we have a
lot.
lot. I feel we do. We have, that's definitely unique and is great. We also have our banjo that we have patents on that has the corner wheel that's adjustable, and that
Oh
has
yeah.
a patented belly in there, which actually brings all the mud to the front, prevents skipping. It's ideal for fiberfuse tape, or you can even dry tape in it. But there's a lot of unique things that we
Yeah.
have. Our
Yeah.
mixers, we have so many different types of mixers that we manufacture everything here
Yeah.
with plastic heads and
Oh, you got the boomerang.
the boomerang. Yes. What's so wonderful about the boomerang is it's easy to clean. It won't tear your pail.
Yeah.
And it'll mix everything: paint, mud,
People
concrete.
that use the boomerang love the boomerang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to hear that. And you know how the boomerang evolved? A lot of our new ideas back in the early 2000s, I visited with a lot of the different AIM stores, and there was one on Grand Avenue that I had a really good rapport with. And his name was Victor. And he would say, DeAnne, you need to make a round bottom mud pan. I said, okay, I'll go back to my dad. My dad's the engineer. Dad, I need a round bottom mud pan. Okay. Week later, he took our traditional mud pans, put a 1/4 inch radius on the corner, and that's where it all evolved. That was Victor asking me. He also said, can you make a mixer like this, but that has does not have sharp edges? And I said, okay. He said, because these sharp edges tear the pail. So what we did is when we did the design on it, we made the leading edge was round.
Yeah.
So you can feel it. There wasn't any sharp edge. That was the leading edge that actually, when it mixed, was rounded. And then since then, we've made some different improvements. And he also was concerned about we call it the hub, but it's where your hexagon shaft sticks out. We put a hub on it, which is round, and that will also prevent tearing when it's spinning at the bottom. So we've just made continuous changes and improvements as the more we sold.
To keep the tool off the bottom of the bucket.
Yes. And it wouldn't be, the hex itself wasn't exposed and touching. So it had what we refer to it as a hub, which eliminates any gouging and, tearing up the plastic at the bottom.
Love it. Let's go back to the story. We've got John Jr. and DeAnne.
Yes.
At what time did you decide, we'll just stick with you since you're in the interview, did you decide that you wanted to become a part of this? Were you asked? Did you go to college?
No, actually, I did not. I got married when I was 20.
Okay.
And I have two sons. I had my first son at 23 and the second one at 26. And I started working for the company, really right out of high school. And
cool. You liked you liked it all.
I did. I was actually in production. And I learned different cold rolled, hot rolled,
did your dad
galvanized.
Did your dad put you in those production lines so you could learn about the nuts and bolts?
Yes.
Smart.
Yes. So we all had to start at the bottom and prove ourselves. I think it was more or less give us enough rope to hang ourselves.
Yeah.
But we learned, I mean, and that's how you learn about the products. Then you learn quality control, you learn just everything. And then you see how things are made. And it also, if I guess, because I had a love for the company from the beginning. So it was even, I would get excited about like different equipment that we would bring on and different
Yeah.
robotics and
Yeah.
how we started doing injection molding. And I just evolved with the company and became very passionate about it. I love the fact that we were a third and fourth generation. I'm the fourth generation
Yeah.
manufacturer and still in business, still manufacturing items. We did more paint items that we kind of turned. We used to make bucket grids. Do you remember, when you paint bucket grids, we were the only domestic company. I think I shouldn't say only. We were probably one of the last domestic companies
for
to
the
make
roller. For the roller?
Yes, a bucket grid. Yes.
I used to use those because I would have, when I first started out, I didn't want to show any drywall finishers what I was up to. I
Yes.
thought it was such a great idea. So I would have people that didn't know how to do mud, but I would have them roll in front of me when I was smoothing out behind, and we'd use the bucket grid
Yes.
for
Yes.
that. And there wasn't any fancy like rollers that everybody's got now. Everybody's making like
Yeah.
the cool mud rollers, which are cool
Yes.
with the synthetic.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really cool. Those didn't exist when I was rolling, but we used to use those grids. Like,
Yes.
they still have them.
They do. And I mean, I don't think anybody makes them anymore. They all are imported. But we did that. We made paint buckets. So we did a lot in the paint industry as well.
Okay.
And brush keepers. And as everything changes, products change, we just changed along with it, and then really started growing our drywall tool line is what we did. And I became a part of that. I was involved in like designing our textured handle knife. And
why did you want to take that direction with
Well,
Advance? And then what time period are we looking at here? Because we've spanned a big chasm of time that we're probably into the 80s, 70s, 80s year.
Yes.
When you guys like go heavy into drywall.
Yes, that was in the 90s is when we really started growing the drywall. Just products changed with brushes and latexes and different types of oil-based, water-based, all that changed. People weren't buying the brush keepers anymore, and the bucket grids, everybody was importing them, and your cost to manufacture them, you were just no longer competitive. So with that change, it just was a perfect time to just redirect into more of the drywall tools. Since we already made mud pans, we've already made taping knives, we made mixers. We just started to get create a more broad line of drywall tools from different types of mixers. And just to give you an example on mud pans, we make from a 6-inch all the way up to a 24-inch mud pan. Metal.
I love your guys' mud pans, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I'm excited about this interview because you have stuff that I like, and I'm picky, as most good drywallers are, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I try to be super honest on the Drywall Podcast if I like something, if I don't like something. But your offset blades, your pans, they're really good, and I don't care why. I just know how it feels and when I use it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of drywallers are that way. And I think that goes back to design. Like, so, obviously you're taking something into consideration. I want to the grip on the bottom. Were you guys kind of first with that as well?
No, okay. We were not.
All right. Because you have a grip bottom.
We do.
I think it's like, I really like it though, because it's like adhered to the pan.
Yes. And there's different grips that are out there, and ours is not as aggressive. It's there's some that are a little bit more aggressive to the feel, where ours, the advanced one, is not as much.
I like it.
And thank you. We are not the first in everything, although I feel that we're first in a lot of items and unique in a lot of items. Again, we like to get feedback from a lot of the end users out there, even DIYers, because it's good to get a variety of different types of feedback, so to make a decision. And some of them are easier to do than others. For Advance, we can test here because we can make something in-house. We have so many different presses here that we can say, okay, cut this, let's try this, let's make this, weld that. There's a lot of things that we can do in-house that are a lot easier for testing purposes before we go to market.
You were working in the factory, so to speak, for how long were you sort of in that role, and did you move around before arriving at the position where you're at now? And what, maybe talk about what your, day-to-day operation looks like for somebody like DeAnne coming into the office.
Sure. So I was in production for a long time, and then I just would help my grandmother in the office.
Okay.
I would say that was, probably in
Mildred,
yeah, in the 80s. And then I think it was when I had my first son and I was pregnant. There was certain things that I could no longer do.
Yeah.
And I came into the office, and that's kind of where I transitioned into the office and just learned all about the, the front side of it, the office side of everything. And I don't know, before you know it, I was still involved, not physically in the factory, but with new products. Now I'm in the front, I'm in the office. I was involved with new products. I was always excited about new equipment, whatever we got in terms of new equipment, to be more efficient for a smaller family-owned business. We had robotics long before a lot of people had robotics in the U.S. And we started with them a long time ago. And that's always what has helped us to be, 104 years and still growing. So I attribute a lot of that to is my father and his engineer mindset, my brother.
You kind of found your niche, or you like the front end better?
Yeah, I feel like I would do trade shows and go to all of our trade shows. So I got to meet, our customers and
you're
buyers.
Good with the people.
I do love people, and I love to hear what people like or don't like. And just the networking, the communication, I think is huge. And I just kind of happened. It's like, how do you know? It's like a baby. All of a sudden you start walking and it just starts happening. You just started getting more involved, and really that's how I became in the position I'm in. I'm the fourth generation. Yep. I'm the vice president. My brother's the vice president. My dad's the president.
Okay.
And we just work so well together.
Wilfred still got his thumb on the pulse.
No, that's John. Wilfred is my grandfather.
Oh, sorry, John. So
my father is John, and yes, he's still actively involved.
Cool.
And it's nice to have, to see my dad here every day. I've been with a part of my dad, all my life. We live, in the same house. We work together. Same with my brother. And it's, people say, how is it working for your family? I'm blessed.
You like it?
I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. And our employees, we're blessed.
What about husband?
My husband is retired.
Okay.
He was in the construction business and worked for large commercial contractors in the Chicagoland area.
Cool. So he was like, that's your thing. I'm going to do my thing. Yep. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. And you guys could come together in that regard. Now we're into the 90s. Maybe we could go back to when Advance shifted toward the drywall realm. Whose idea was that, and why, sort of,
I just think it happened naturally, if that makes any sense. We just started adding more tools to our already existing
Well,
line of
and
drywall
let's
tools.
face it, drywall is cooler than wall.
Yes. And that category really took a bad hit in the 80s when, and I don't want to point fingers, but there was a lot of complaints with wall covering where a lot of residential people, DIYers did their own wall covering. And it was
Oh,
they didn't prep the walls and didn't know about prepping the walls. And when it came time to change the wall covering and they couldn't get the wall covering off, it really tainted that industry.
okay. And that's interesting because Fresco Harmony will go over. I've gone over wallpaper a lot.
Yep.
That's just on there.
And nowadays, nowadays there's so many beautiful products out there for
Yeah.
prepping a wall prior to hanging wall covering so that you can remove it without tearing your walls apart. But that was the biggest culprit, or people didn't really know. But
Well,
that
and
really was.
that industry I guess it's smaller than it used
It
to be.
is because it's definitely the bulk of it is commercial, as I mentioned to you.
Yeah,
Hospitals. If you look
that
at
like
hospitals,
vinyl, that heavy vinyl.
yes, in hotels, in
Yeah.
hospitals, especially when there's a heavy traffic area. That vinyl is very it's heavy duty. It's easy to clean versus having to paint it on a regular basis.
Is it difficult? Like, let's say you have a corridor in a hotel and it's getting banged up. I mean, they have a lot of times they'll have chair rails and they'll have ways to
Correct.
sort of
Yes.
wainscoting and
Yes.
things like that. But like,
Yes.
my sales for Fresco Harmony is always like, well, wallpaper is difficult to change out. If you get a mark or
Yes.
gouge, it's hard. You still have a lot of labor to change out wallpaper or fix it.
Well, for example, I've gone to different events for hotels and their maintenance and department where we've done presentations with wall covering adhesive manufacturers and wall covering
Okay.
manufacturers. And a lot of times if they do different, when they're doing a specific area, just like even carpeting, they'll have extras for repairs, or you can
Right.
even repair. You can repair wall covering. I have a very good friend of mine that's an outstanding installer, and there's a lot of tricks to the trade to that too.
Yeah.
But it's and they have to. I don't quote me on it, but they have to, change up and renovate every so many years, and I
Sure.
don't know what that is.
It,
You know,
it comes up in specialty wall finish also.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
there's these like super rigid plasters that look beautiful. It looks like a marble. You can see a reflection in it, but it's like, well, if it gets damaged, what do you do then? It's so
Sure.
that's always a question. But that segment of Advance, what percentage of the company would you say is that now?
in our wall covering, well, we sell the 62-inch paste machine, which is a big part of it. It's still small, so I would
Okay.
say that's probably only about maybe 30%, 35% of our business.
Okay.
And then
the rest,
obviously our
drywall.
strength is our drywall. I mean, a small portion of painting, but our strength is our drywall. When you look at what we manufacture in terms of even our mixers, we have, like 7 different types of mixers, and they mix mud, paint, everything from a plastic head to a metal head. Just mixers alone. Our drywall banjos, we have the banjos with the corner wheel, with the belly. There's so many unique items, and we manufacture everything in house. So we've just really added on to our drywall because of the wall covering being more of a smaller.
Yeah.
It's just a smaller market.
Yeah. How big is your facility there?
We get about 50,000 square feet.
And how many people?
We have 25.
25.
Yep.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a nice
Yes.
like small family.
Yes. And we're very efficient, and we have a lot of robotics, which help. But
Probably a good company to work for, I would imagine.
well, we've had a lot of our employees for years. So
Yeah,
I'm
bet.
super excited about that. And like I said, they're an extension of our family. They're our work family. I think we
Yeah.
spend more time with our work family sometimes than our own family because, think about your days.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time at work.
Have you had any company approach you about like buying the company?
Oh
Did
yeah,
your
over
dad
the
have to deal
year.
with that? Why haven't you like said screw it? We're gonna sell out and go like have vacation for the rest of our
Look, we
lives.
still enjoy. I don't think we still enjoy what we do. It's still fun. It's we love manufacturing. We love what we do.
It's rare. It seems
Yeah.
like we're sort of in a culture of everybody sort of selling out to everybody, and
Yes.
the fat
Yes.
cats are gobbling up everything.
Yes. I mean, you've seen that over the last, I'd say more so, maybe the last 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Like the big
Yeah.
companies are like coming in and
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
I've seen a
interesting.
lot. I have a lot of my competitors I'm friends with, and they're still going. I'm still going. We're still
Yeah,
going. And it still brings us a lot of joy to be here, to continue to evolve and come up with new ideas and bring new products to the market.
yeah. It's a challenging market to come
It
into.
is.
I'll tell you
It
that
is,
much.
but
like
I think,
like
you know what? I bet people thought, I mean, I think about it. My dad told me that during the Depression, my grandpa, my grandfather, they would shut the door because they were working on Saturdays and people couldn't eat. So, our company has seen a lot over the last 104 years.
yeah, yeah,
The
boy, I'll,
pandemic, 9
yeah,
11.
yeah,
Unfortunately, the longer we all are in business and alive, we're going to
yeah,
see different things that we never imagined to
yeah,
see and witness.
yeah. Yeah, I guess businesses don't go anywhere if you don't see them through, you know?
Yeah, you have to,
I always say I
right,
should have quit like so many times
right.
by now, but I just like whatever.
But you like what you do,
I
and that's
do.
important. And when you
It's
like what you
cool.
do and you create products that are unique and people like, why not? I have a lot of new items I'm still working on. So right now
Uh,
I'm trying to get those off and running.
yeah, can we talk about any of the new items?
Not quite yet.
All
We
right.
will once they're ready.
Are you excited about these new items?
I am. I'm excited about everything I do.
Yeah.
I am. I think everything that we come up with and the ideas, and look, meeting you, it's interesting. I love what you're doing. I love your small company. Everybody starts small. So, and they have to start somewhere. I think you have a great story, you have a great product. I've seen so much of your product on social media, and that is really exciting. And
Are
I love the
you
fact that you use some of our tools on them even more yet.
Yeah, there was one where I mentioned the advanced offset knife. I was doing a faux sort of concrete look with some of Tape Tech's new like plaster tool. They have a scratchy
Yes.
tool,
Yes.
and then I knocked it down with the advanced blade, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, using a melee of different tools and materials and color, and we're bringing color to like this world. Are you active with a lot of the social media stuff? Do you keep your thumb on the pulse?
No, I
No,
don't do any of that.
you don't do any of that. That's all
No,
Oriana.
that's it. That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yes.
And well, I guess we could talk a little bit about Oriana, like your relationship with her and that marketing, because
Yes.
I like that stuff.
Yes.
And also, I'm curious about like your relationship with Richard Eisfeller, and like because I know
Yes.
he worked with you guys a long time, coming up with these ideas.
Yes.
How did that come to be?
Actually, that he's in more of a rural area, a couple of
Okay,
hours from us.
okay,
But I met Rick. I call him Rick. I met
yeah,
Rick from Abe Studios. He was doing my marketing back, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, 5, 6, somewhere around there. And we were working on the corner wheel for the banjo. And then Abe said, I have somebody that I think would be good to help you with that. And that's how I met Rick. And then over the years, we just, he had shared ideas with us and visited our facility. And because we do a lot of stuff in-house, we have the capability of, with all of our different presses and whatnot. And we just started creating more tools. He had ideas and we just started putting them into production, or testing them. And some of them were just very easy to transition to, because our radius knife we were already selling without the radius. We had the offset knife that we've been selling for years, and he said put a radius on it, and we put the radius on
why
it.
Why the radius? That's interesting.
Well, the radius, just like, I'll give you another example. So we also make knockdown knives with a polycarbonate blade for knockdown. And when Sunil D'Souza, drywall master, introduced me to this guy by the name of Eddie Boswell out of Florida, and their family made mud. And we didn't make knockdown knives at that time, the polycarbonate knockdown knives. And Eddie's like, DeAnne, there's different knives out there. They all have that sharp edge. You need to make it with a radius, because a radius makes for a seamless application. So it eliminates the line with the radius versus a pointed corner.
Okay.
So that's when we started making Lexan knives. Now we make the largest.
Chad uses those on his corner bead. I tried using it, and it does there's a transition in learning to feather your edge with a square edge versus the round. But Chad loves those for finishing corner bead. So
we were the first to come up with that, and that wasn't a design of ours. That was a mud manufacturer that said, hey, make this Lexan knife and, eliminate the point on it. So that's when we started with that. And then when we've already made the offset knives. We've been selling them for years in stainless and blue steel. And when Rick was here, we were testing, and he said, I'd like to see it with a radius. So that's how that evolved.
Okay.
And that's where that, whole relationship with Rick is. And Rick does his own thing. I mean, he's still doing drywall and helps other companies and works with other companies. And
he part of the wash station too?
Yes, he loved the wash station. Yes,
he loved the wash station. And from that, I remember the box holder. I thought that was really sometimes the simplest things,
Yeah.
Screw it to the wall, holds your box.
Right. You can put it on scaffolding, or you can put it actually in the wall itself.
Love that. Yeah.
So all these items, and how that wash station came about is we make our paste machine has a rolling stand.
Okay.
So a lot of items we were already producing, but for other items, and then you started making some changes, and that's really how a lot of that.
Because you gotta roll that paste machine around when you're putting up your wallpaper. Yeah.
Yes, it's a rolling stand, which is adjustable in height. So whether you're tall or short, and it has locking casters. So that's kind of how that all came to market.
Pretty cool. And what's your familiarity with the podcast? Have you listened to a lot of these episodes?
Yes, I have listened to them, especially after you and I had spoke. I listen to a lot. I try to listen to this podcast when I'm going home. I always like to it's a great, when you're driving home, sometimes you just don't want to listen to music. So I like to either listen to something that's educational, learn.
Yeah.
I love learning.
Which episode did you catch?
I don't pay attention to the actual episodes itself, but I've watched. I loved listening to Sunil's too, especially when you know the people, because I know Sunil. And I think they're very interesting to hear where everybody comes from and their story. It's unique.
Yeah. I think that's why it's gained a little bit in popularity. It puts it gives Advance a face.
Yes.
It gives DeAnne like it gives it energy almost like oh, okay. I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they'd been around for that long.
Yes.
What's this round
Yes.
edge offset knife you speak of?
Yes.
Speaking of, if somebody wanted to find out more information about Advance, what would be a good way? I know you guys have Instagram, Facebook,
And they can
TikTok,
go on
all that.
Amazon. They can go to our website. We have,
Okay.
a storefront on Amazon. You can go to our website. But if somebody was interested and wanted to purchase, all of our product are available on Amazon. We have
Okay.
wall tools, Al's taping tools. They're available there. So,
Okay. Would you
and
say
Al's
the
great.
website is a good spot to learn about like these tools or see a catalog?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. And
Yes.
that's www.advance.
Advance, ADVANCE
Okay.
dash equipment.com.
Equipment.com. Okay. So,
Yes.
an important key fact there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I do a pearl of wisdom that you could bestow on the drywall community or put something on a billboard uh, that everybody could see at one shot to make your mark. What would you say?
What would I say? I would say that that's a good question.
Like
Um,
use your blinker more people. We live in a society. Uh,
no, I would say I would truly no, I would truly say that I believe that people are human. People have bad days. Remember, they have bad days. Always
uh,
smile. Always
I love
smile.
that.
I love, I've watched this. I learned this a long time ago. My husband and I have a place in Wisconsin. Well, actually, this was from when my children were young. And when my dad also farms in central Wisconsin. And we would drive down the road, and my kids are, 6, 9, and somebody drives by in a pickup truck and they wave to you. And my children say, Mom, who is it? I said, I don't know. You just wave back. So in the rural community, people are friendly. They wave at you. And I
Yeah.
found that so fascinating. And I made it a point to be, I'm in a suburb, but the city, when I walk past people, I say, good morning. How are you? And I smile and they smile back. So I feel like a smile attracts a smile. Be happy, you know, smile. Maybe somebody's having a bad day and they just need you to say hello and give a smile to. So it's good to be there for people. I think it's an old cliche, treat people the way you want to be treated, but be pleasant, be happy, smile, because a smile attracts a smile.
I love it. That's a pearl. Um,
It's the truth though. Pay attention to
yeah.
that. Pay attention to that now. When
Yeah.
you're out in public and you walk by, most people will just keep their head down or turn. Look at somebody and smile and say, hi, good morning. And then someone will look back and say, good morning.
hmm Yeah. In the
It's
store,
true. It works.
acknowledge the person that's helping you in the store and
Yes.
ask
Yes.
them how their day is.
Yes.
They're
It's
dealing with.
true.
We went through the line in Starbucks recently, and it was. I was frazzled. We were going to a soccer game. We're in Phoenix. People are kind of edgy in Phoenix, anyways. Very fast pace, busy, hot. Still hot. It was like middle of winter, but it's still like,
Yeah.
it's still warm down there.
Oh,
And
it's super hot there in the summer.
and
Woo.
we went through Starbucks, and she was like, "You're the first car in like the last four cars that's had good energy." And not that I always bring good energy, but my girlfriend and I, we laugh a lot. And my favorite feature on her is her laugh lines, like right
Yeah.
here. Because she's real
It's
jokey and I'm
nice. Yes.
jokey, but yeah, smiling and just being friendly, kindness. I
Yes.
love that.
Well,
I love that.
I come from a family, my mom's Irish side. They're very personable. They love to laugh. And it's so true. And it's just, I think that's what you want to spread to people is positive energy. Be happy. Life is short.
Beautiful. And then a something that you've learned while working in your arena that has changed the way you do things, but you didn't think that maybe it would. Maybe you were rigid. Maybe you were resistant to something that somebody was suggesting, and you finally succumb, and you started doing it this new way, and lo and behold, it's better. Now you can't imagine doing it a different way.
I don't know. I've always been very open-minded,
Yeah,
honestly,
you
to
seem that
change.
way.
If somebody has an idea, I I loved it. What's the worst case scenario? And I don't believe no is necessarily no. And
Hmm.
I've witnessed that on personal and business. So I just feel I've always been an opportunist. I would say a change I made was marketing. I definitely didn't give, and it's not that I didn't give as much thought on the marketing until later. And Oriana made a difference on that, I would have to say for sure.
But
But other than,
what'd she do?
well, well, I think it was the way she presented marketing because it's like anything else. How do you make a change on something? It's how it's presented to you.
Yeah.
Anything, whether it's a new product, a new software. I'm always I'm all about like new software and how can you
Yeah.
make my life easier and how can we make one of my employees' life easier with software and in my scanner. We created a unique check digit with our scanner, so when they're scanning products to palletize them, the software will say you've already scanned it because it has a unique check digit. So I'm all about like making life easy in all aspects. So again, it's how it's presented to me. I don't know everything. I want to learn. And
Yeah.
if it's presented right, then you have a different take on it. So I think clarity and the right presentation on anything that's new helps make your decision. It's easier to make a decision. And sometimes you got to do a little bit more research to find out. But I've always been open minded to anything from sales reps to software to telephones, learning technology, even though that's not my, cup of tea. But I had to hire somebody new for our IT and I interviewed a lot of people. And I'm so excited about the company that we have. And they brought
Good.
our previous IT passed away unexpectedly and he did a great job, but life is about change. And of course we all find it hard, to make changes, but that is unfortunately what life is about change. But yeah, I think it's always good to see new products, new ideas, new software, everything. I'm always open to see that.
Love it. DeAnne Shallcross, advanced tools, advanced equipment and tools. This has been great. I really appreciate your time. It's a big deal to me that you come on here. It's a even bigger deal that that you're sponsoring the month for the podcast. It helps me. It helps just keep going, that people are sort of watching. I encourage you to go, or I can give you some suggestions on some really great podcasts that I think you'd like. The Drywall
I
Podcast.
appreciate it.
There's
Yes.
there's a bunch, but we've got some gems out there, man. And especially the people like in the trenches, like hearing their story, how they came to run their business and things like that. It's a decent. I listen to podcasts too. Like it's a decent podcast, you know.
Yes, for
There's some
sure.
good episodes, but we will be in touch. Anything left that we left out that you would like to say?
I appreciate the opportunity. This has really been exciting for me to be on your podcast. I'm excited to be in the drywall tool business. I've met so many wonderful people, and I love watching the changes and more of the women that are involved in it. So I'm super excited about that because I'm a woman business owner. I've been in the manufacturing. I'm involved with our local drywall school here in Berkeley, and I love watching the women really just make such strides in this category. So I'm super excited about it, and I love to support everybody in the industry, especially the women. So
I forgot to mention.
Opportunity.
I forgot to mention that too. There's a special place in my heart when we get to have a woman on the show. We've had lots, and it's good because like a lot of these industries, it's male dominated. But all the women are banding together, and I think there's a lot more support now for women in the trades that there wasn't a long time ago.
Oh yes,
it's with social media, it's everybody's connecting.
Yeah, for sure, and it's great to see. I mean, I'm glad I'm a part of it. So
yeah, very cool. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Okay, look forward to it. Take care. Right, thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Bye.
Huge shout out to DeAnne for being with us on the Drywall Podcast today. Super cool. I did not know about the wall covering aspect of advanced tools, and some fun facts about their regular tools as well. Very cool episode, very cool person. Huge shout out to Advance for sponsoring the Drywall Podcast in the month of January. This is their first sponsorship, and we appreciate them for that. It's because of sponsors like Advance that I get to bring you amazing drywall professionals each week. Also, we're having another ice bath giveaway at the end of this month. Email me, info@frescoharmony.com, your name, phone number, and physical address, and you'll be entered. Also, look for details about that giveaway on our social media pages. When you pick up an Advanced equipment tool, you're using something built by a company that understands drywall work because they've been a part of that trade for generations. Advanced Equipment, family owned and US made. If you'd like more information on becoming a guest on the Drywall Podcast or sponsoring a month of the podcast, you can use that same email I gave you earlier, info@frescoharmony.com, and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You have a lot of programs to listen to when you head over to that dial to listen to something, and today you chose the Drywall Podcast, and I'm extremely appreciative to you for that. And as you head into your weekend or week, I hope it's a good one, and remember, keep drywalling.